Bilzark Barbarian Boys. At the edge of the north jungle, between the violent lash of the ocean and the most western point of the jagged spine, sat the remote village of Bilzark. This was not a place for the faint of heart. Here, the people did not farm or fish like softer folk. They were hunters, warriors, and survivalists. Every breath of life in Bilzark was a gift from Bam, the god of fury and might, and every child born within this thick jungle was destined to fight or die trying. Among the children of Bilzark were two boys, half-brothers born to different mothers, but united under the blood and teaching of their father, ferocious, the village chieftain. Ferocious had sired many children, but it was Knickon and Gren who stood out as if cut from iron itself. At just 14 winters, they were already larger and more fearsome than many grown men in the village. Knickon, the elder, by mere moments, carried a war axe as if it were an extension of his arm. Gren, the smaller only by the breadth of a hair, wielded a great sword with deadly precision. Together they were a perfect storm, strength and speed, muscle and mind, a bond forged not only by blood, but a growing lifetime of shared battles, bruises, and boasts. The brothers were destined for greatness, not just because of their size and strength, but because of their fire that burned in their hearts, the wild, relentless fury of a barbarian soul. The spirit of Bam thrummed in their veins, demanding that they take what the world refused to give them freely: power, survival, and glory. Tonight that glory would come in the shape of a monster that prowled the dark, the Black Saber Tooth Tiger, the most dangerous beast in the northern jungles. The tiger was a legendary predator, a hunter that lived only in stories told to scare children. But tonight, Knickon and Gren had found its trail, and they meant to add its skull to the totems of their people. And soon the world beneath the canopy was cast into near total darkness. But the boys pressed on. Where softer men would falter, barbarians thrived. Knickon and Gren moved through the underbrush with the sense of ease of jungle cats, their feet silent on the thick, loamy soil. Even as night fell, the brothers navigated the tangled jungles as if born to it, their eyes sharp enough to pick out faint shapes in the dark. What sight could not tell them, instinct and blind fighting made up for the rest. The signs were there, claw marks on the bark of twisted trees, the faint scent of musk carried on the wind, and the broken twigs crushed under a predator's massive paws. The beast was close, too close. It wasn't just the boys hunting tonight. The Black Saber Tooth was hunting them too. Knickon's hand tightened around the heft of his axe. "Think you're faster than me, brother," he whispered, voice in a low rumble. Gren gave a short snort, brushing the lock of hair from his face. "We'll see who lands a killing blow." He tapped the flat of his greatsword against his palm. "One hit, 2 swings." There was no need for further words. The brothers lived for moments like these, moments of risk, chaos, and the raw thrill of survival. But now they had to play the game right. Cat and mouse, a deadly dance where the roles could shift with every step. Gren moved first, slipping between the roots of a twisted jungle tree and deeper into the shadows. Knickon followed, staying far enough behind to watch the rear. They knew from experience how predators thought: ambush, stalk, pounce. But these brothers were not ordinary prey. They knew that to survive, they had to become the hunters. Then it happened, a soft rustle in the leaves. Too controlled to be the wind, both brothers stopped dead in their tracks, hearts thrumming with excitement. The Black Saber Tooth was close. "Now," Knickon whispered under his breath, and Gren nodded. It was time for a trick their father had taught them. Bait the beast. Make it come to you. Gren stepped forward into a small clearing, standing tall and alone, his greatsword resting loosely at his side. He let out a low growl, mimicking the call of a wounded boar. Then he waited, motionless. The jungle answered with silence. For a long moment nothing moved, but then, a blur in the shadows, a flicker of black muscle and gleaming fangs, the beast lunged, claws flashing in the night. The Black Saber Tooth Tiger was upon him, the shadow of death wrapped in fur and fury. The tiger crashed into the clearing like a storm, a wall of claws and snarls. Gren dodged it at the last moment, narrowly avoiding the monster's jaws, his greatsword slicing through the air towards the beast's flank. But the tiger was faster than anything that he'd ever faced. It twisted mid-leap, claws raking across Gren's side. Blood sprayed, and Gren staggered but kept his footing. From the shadows, Knickon roared and charged, swinging his axe in with a deadly arc. The axe smashed into the tiger's shoulder with a sickening crunch, but the beast barely slowed. It spun on Knickon, slamming him to the ground with a swipe of its massive paw. Claws tore into Knickon's chest, but the boy grinned through the pain, adrenaline and rage driving him. "Come on, you ugly bastard," Knickon snarled, kicking the beast off him. Gren recovered, wiping blood from his eyes. The tiger circled them, tail lashing in frustration. This was no ordinary hunt. The brothers were wounded, but alive, and the beast knew it. This would be a fight to the death. The boys exchanged a look. There was no fear in their eyes, only resolve. Together, always together. The beast pounced again, his jaws aimed at Gren's throat, but Knickon was ready, and he swung his axe in a brutal upward arc, catching the tiger under the jaw. Bone shattered, and the beast roared in agony. Gren saw his opening. With a howl that echoed through the jungle, he stepped in, bringing his greatsword down in a devastating blow that cleaved into the tiger's spine. The beast staggered, but it wasn't finished. It fought on to the bitter end, slashing wildly with its claws, catching both the boys across the arms and legs. But Knickon and Gren were barbarians. Pain was nothing but a reminder that they were still alive. With a final synchronized effort, they swung their weapons and brought them down on the beast's neck in one fluid motion. Two blades struck as one, severing the tiger's head from its body. For a moment, there was silence. The jungle held its breath as the brothers stood over the fallen prey, blood dripping from their wounds and weapons. Then as one, Knickon and Gren threw back their heads and bellowed a victorious roar into the night, their voices rising to the heavens. "Baham!" they cried, offering the kill to their god. The battle was over, but the night was far from done. The brothers stood in silence, binding their wounds with strips of cloths from their tunics. They worked quickly and efficiently, the way their father had taught them. There was no need for words. Their bond went deeper than speech. They had fought, they had won, and they had survived. Together, they bent to the task of preparing their prize. The saber-toothed tiger's skull would be cleaned and mounted in their village, a testament to their strength and courage. Its hide would make fine clothes, and its claws and teeth would be worn as trophies around their neck. As they worked, the jungle around them began to stir again, as if the night itself acknowledged their victory. Predators recognized predators. When the tiger was ready, the boys hoisted its massive body onto their shoulders, its head tied to the side, sharing the burden equally. Bloodied, bruised, and exhausted, they began the long trek back to Bilzark. They walked in silence, knowing that this hunt was only the beginning. Many challenges lay ahead, but as long as they had each other, they would face them together. Knickon and Gren, brothers in blood and battle, would carve their names into legend, one fight at a time. And tonight, they carried home not only a trophy, but a promise. The future belonged to them.